we are with Matthew Craig, who is technically the eLab specialist here at Red Bank High School in the Volkswagen eLab. We're just excited to talk to you today because we have our America 250 Design Challenge. Can you talk about what you've done with students already when it comes to puppetry? Because this is going to be this is the Design Challenge, right? We're creating finger puppets. And we have here today Lesha Everett, who is a rock star ventriloquist. So we talk about puppets. Sure, we want to be respectful when we create them, but also in giving them voice. Here we are with Eric Doctor. We want to talk about his career, how this is involved with what we do. We're really excited about this launch of our America 250 project. They have no idea where to start. They don't know what materials to go with. They might feel a touch overwhelmed.
Sure.
Can you lean into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's really easy to get overwhelmed, and it's also really easy to get overcomplicated. You can also do just puppets like stick puppets, which are pretty cool. So my suggestion would just, at first, keep it very, very simple.
How do you walk students through ensuring that they are respectful in what they are creating? Because they're creating puppets about real historical figures, especially these who have received our nation's highest award. How do you communicate that to students, and how do you help steer them in a direction to where it's still fun, because we want this to be a fun challenge, but also where it is respectful in its own way?
Culturally, I mean, if they're from a different part of the country, you need to know kind of how they were brought up, where they were reared, what they were taught as a kid, what their characteristics are within just who they were as a child.
You can kind of approach it like a caricature in a lot of ways. Of course, sometimes caricatures, it kind of depends on how it's going to land, right? And I think that's kind of the iterative part of that. So you may start out with a sketch, drawings about what are some of the things that really stand out about the look of this particular person.
So once we've decided a person that we're going to develop, we do our visual research. So our resident scrivener, Meg, goes off and collects as much biographical information as she can. I go and get as much visual reference as I can. It's really just putting together a caricature of this person that's going to translate to flesh.
I always recommend you start out with some sort of paper, right? Or paper or cardstock. Paper is really easy because you can begin to see how those pieces are going to come together. And then you might go into like felt. Then you get into your fleeces, right? So then fleeces are more soft touch. Then you start walking your way into other sorts of fabrics.
I think, especially if you're giving something voice or personality to something, it has to be obviously like the person. That's when I knew I really clicked with it, is because people would see my puppet that is just a generic puppet, but I had taken personalities and mannerisms and voices and things that people would look and go, gosh, that puppet, I know a guy like that, or I know a girl like that. And if you can do that, I think it really lends credibility to what you're doing.
What are some of the frustrations that your crew has run into that they may run into when they are in this process?
Well, I think when you're doing any kind of creative work, there's always that gap between your expectations and your ability to execute, right?
Oh, right.
And and there's always this period you go through where you're not happy with it and you can't figure out exactly why or what to do about it.
A lot of people want to sew a puppet. They want to put, which is it's a complicated skill to sew a puppet up. A needle is sharp, right? So think about that. And hot glue may be an easy reach, and yet hot glue is hot, right? So it's again, using materials appropriately and using them safely and being aware of their limitations and the things that I need to be cautious about.
So I think it's very important that you do your research, very important. And there's always something funny or something personal to that person that comes out in anything that they do.